Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and I know in my last video I was saying about a 486. I'd fancied a 486 for in my little computer lab. So today I went down into my cellar and I dug out this. Now this hasn't seen the... oh god, that wasn't a good thing to do. Hang on, put that monitor back. This probably hasn't seen the light of day in since the very late 90s. Back then I used to refurb computers, and I'm pretty sure this is something that was left over from when I used to recondition them. It's a digital 486 sx-33. It would have been an ex-corporate machine. I used to buy these by like a pallet of 20 of them for very little back then, as old, complete with monitors, 14-inch CRT monitors and keyboards and everything. And what I used to do is I used to upgrade the RAM in them. I used to, I mean, it wouldn't have had that, I don't think. I don't know why it's got a 5¼ inch drive in it. It just had a blank there. I used to fit a CD-ROM to them, put a sound card in them, fit a modem to them, and sell them as entry-level multimedia systems in the probably the late 90s, 96, 97, and I used to make quite a bit of money at that when I was at college. Everyone wanted one. They used to sell them for about £150 each. But I think this is where this has come from. It's a remnant of that, but why it didn't get thrown away when I threw all my old PC stuff away when I went to uni, I don't know. But it survived, and I thought this would be a really good little 486 to have up in my workshop up here. Mainly because it's quite a nice slim size. I mean, if you look, it's only a slimline form factor. It's as simple as they come, really. I've not done anything to it really yet. I dug it out of the cellar about half an hour ago, and I've put power up to it. I didn't have any RAM in it. I opened it up. This is pretty much as it was when I opened it up. It's filthy dirty. You know, it really is dirty in there. It's started to rust slightly because my attic isn't the driest of places to keep stuff. That's why I really wanted up here. But yeah, I mean, we've got 3 16-bit ISA slots, so it has got a bit of expandability to it. What I'm thinking about doing with this is I'll put some more RAM in it. I just found one random stick lying around in a cupboard, so I just stuck that. It's a 4 meg stick I've stuck in just for testing. It's got the original unheat sinked, because I don't think they really need them, 486 SX processor. But what I have found out having a look on the board is it's nice and configurable. I am wondering what other processor I can stick in there, because I've got... If I have a look in this, I think it's in this one. Let's have a look in here. These boxes go back to the day as well. These are what I used to stick in my computers. Oh no, that's got Pentium Pro processors in it. I need to find a use for them, because I don't think I've got any Pentium Pro motherboards, but I've got I'll show you. Look, I've got a stack of the old, I think the 200 megahertz or 233 megahertz Pentium Pro processors in there. Hopefully one day I'll find a dual processor board I can stick a couple of them on them ones, because they've got the higher level cache on them. I think they've got a mega cache, a half a meg of cache on them internally. They were a bit of an anomaly, the Pentium Pro. A mate of mine used to run his system on them in the day. No, that wasn't what I wanted anyway. Let's have a look in here. This is my stores cupboard. Here we go. Let's have a look in this box. Ah, that's more like it. We have, and that's just I think that's an SX. Yeah, that's another SX like 33 or a 25. But somewhere in this box, here we are. I should really have some static precautions on, but I haven't at the moment. Hey ho, never mind. I'll put it on that metalwork there. What we have here is a Intel with a rather skew heatsink on it, I will say. That is an Intel overdrive processor. Now they were designed to fit in one of these, and they might be 80 odd it's either 83 megahertz or 100 megahertz, I can't remember. They come in a really odd lower speed and then 100 megahertz. But anyway, so I've got a little overdrive processor there, so I might try that in it. I think I might have something like I think I've got a DX40 processor I could try in it. I think I've got a DX50. I think I've got some DX266s. So I'm going to have a play around. It's obviously it's no cache on board, but I could add some external cache to it and just have a play around. There's another chap I watch his videos on YouTube. I can't remember his name at the moment. High Treason, that's the guy. Is it High Treason 76 or something like that? Who likes messing about with these old PCs and what different processors and what effect different cache and all that type of stuff does in it. So I might have, oops, that's the lid going over. I might have a go at doing something like that with it and trying different benchmarks on it, see just how fast I can make it go, how stable it'll be with them other speeds. So yeah, there's plenty of things I can play about with on this. I'll probably stick a sound card in it because I'm thinking if I've got an old system like this, it'll be great for some of the older PC games. I mean, this will run Doom fantastically, Doom 2. I think with the processor it's got in it, it's going to struggle on something like Duke 3D, and obviously Quake or anything like that, it hasn't got a chance. It's just dragging to the ground. But for the old Duke Nukems, Doom, any of them old platformer games from that time, I think this is going to be really, really good to run them. So that's my intent. I'll stick a network card in it so I can connect it up to the rest of the PCs. It makes moving files across a damp site easier than using disk. I may actually do away with the 5 1/4 inch drive out of this and put that in my PC down there, because it does have a second floppy drive channel on it, and I think it will do 360k. And I might put a CD-ROM drive in there and actually make it into a multimedia 486, as it would have been around. I think this is about a 93, 94 vintage machine. So probably around 94, 95 kind of vintage when I've multimedia it up. So I'll take that out, I'll put a double speed or an 8-speed CD-ROM drive in there. Put a 16-bit sound card in it. I won't bother putting a modem in it obviously, but I'll probably put a network card in it. So like I said, so I can connect it up and transfer files onto it easier. So far, I've thought, why not power this up and let you see it actually running? Do you like my cute little monitor? It's off an old EPOS, electronic point of sale. Super VGA mono, 7-inch, and it's really, really useful for doing testing like this because it doesn't take up a lot of space on the desk. Let's put some power up this thing. See the monitor's just fired up. Let's see if I'm going to get anything on screen. There we go. Oh, we haven't got too much flicker on that. That's working quite nicely. And there, as we can see, Phoenix BIOS 486, 4 meg of RAM, 486 SX, invalid configuration, please run setup program. And this is where I've the problem I've come up to so far. It all seems to work. I've not actually tried booting a floppy on it yet, but if the floppy drive's dead, it's not a big issue. It's obviously tried to seek, so I think the controller's okay on it. The hard drive is an unknown quantity yet. Now, what leads me to think that I was probably had this in my sales stack is this is what I used to do when I was testing hard drives. It's got a 130 meg quantum hard drive in it, and it is spinning, which is unusual. These are very similar to the SCSI hard drives they had in the old Apple Macs, which used to freeze up. The grease in the bearings used to harden in them, and you used to have to give them a physical twist in your hand to get them to spin up. These are similar drives, but they're IDE. But I think it should probably work alright, that. I don't know whether I'll keep it with that or whether I'll go with something solid state. I do have a few other IDE hard drives. Might have a 420 meg that I could stick in here. Again, I'm not actually sure whether I'm going to come up with an issue with hard drives bigger than 500 megabytes in this because of its age. It doesn't really matter for what I want to use it anyway. I think about anything over 200 meg, 100 meg will be absolutely fine. Problem I've got is obviously I can't save any of the settings for the hard drive, and it's down to, I don't know if we can pick this up very well. Let me grab a screwdriver. Now what we've got is that thing there that you can see is the BIOS. Instead of using a normal little lithium cell for the battery backed up, it's got a delapidated real-time clock, and the power in that is also, from what I can see, I can't see any battery connectors anywhere on the board. I can't find any little coin cell holders anywhere on the board. So I think that the BIOS is actually kept running by that little Dallas battery backed up clock, and they have the battery actually built inside the unit there, which fail because it's just a little like a coin cell type battery. It's just like a watch battery inside them. What I will end up doing, I think, is cracking that open, milling it away and connecting an external battery to get that working again. So I thought I'd just show you what I'm up to for my first project in my new workshop. So I'm going to leave it at that and crack on with this and see what I can do with that battery. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.